Hello and welcome, I'm Reece, and here's what happened this week. Thousands of competitors from around the world spent 2 days running across Taiwan's outlying Kinmen Islands. Harel Hughes reports on this annual marathon.
And they're off. 2 days and 42 kilometers around Taiwan's outlying Kinmen Islands in the 2024 Kinmen Marathon. Nearly 3,000 runners from 22 countries competed in the marathon and half-marathon races, battling strong winds from an approaching monsoon. The setting for this 2-day race, Kinmen, sitting just 10 kilometers away from the eastern coast of China, and offers competitors a chance to learn more about the island's history and natural beauty.
风稍微有点变强变大，所以有点挑战。不过我发觉这个整个赛道还有整个这个路线的规划，还是都十分的完善。那我相信呢，跑友来这边也可以享受到金门很多的这一种美景。
The islands are also home to several military bases. And this year, members of the Marine's elite 101st Amphibious Reconnaissance Battalion, also known as the Sea Dragon Frogmen, joined the race. This year's marathon was held a week earlier than usual to accommodate Taiwan's elections on January 13th. But the earlier date and the wind did not impact these runners' enthusiasm. Devin Tsai and Harel Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
As Taiwan's population ages, it's getting more and more important to keep seniors healthy. Instead of making them hit the gym, Kaohsiung has launched a program to bring the gym to them. Eric Gao reports.
These seniors are showing they've still got the moves. They're helping to launch a new mobile gym program in Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan. It brings workout equipment to seniors who generally don't get too much strenuous exercise.
排舞、健身这样子，
多多少少在公园走步这样，对身体比较好一点。
Taiwan's population is aging rapidly. The country is set to become a super-aged society as early as next year, with over 20% of the population over age 65. Keeping seniors active and exercising is important for their health, especially to ward off muscle loss and high cholesterol that can lead to more serious conditions.
如果你就去走路、去散步这种，其实对这些帮助并不多。
That's why the Kaohsiung government teamed up with local businesses for the mobile gym program. It's aimed at communities too small to have their own dedicated fitness centers. Seniors can get their reps in when the van's in town.
跑步机呀，或是训练我们的肌耐力啊，或是腹部，我觉得都是有帮助的。
Kaohsiung plans to run this program for 3 years, starting with a limited number of communities. If the response is good, they'll expand it to more areas, letting more seniors hit the mobile gym. John Su and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Rescue workers in Taiwan are working to save lives amid an increase in accidents in the country's mountains. Irene Lin looks at how long distances and organizational problems impact their response time.
Traveling into the wilderness to save lives. Mountain rescue teams in Taiwan's central and eastern counties are used to responding to emergencies in demanding conditions.
因为大部分的山友都会往花莲的地方来做一个行进的一个路线所以常常在这个路径里面发生意外。
To access mountains in central Taiwan, rescue teams from Hualien County on the east coast often use trailheads in neighboring Nantou County. The problem is, it can take as much as 7 hours to drive to where they're going, and to go on foot is not a viable option when lives are on the line.
如果说我们直接由县内走路上能高越岭的话，可能耗费的时间可能要4-5天以上。
Government figures say mountain rescue calls have risen in the past decade, peaking at 454 in 2020. Almost all the people who called for help were found. But with the rising number of incidents, rescuers say they're having trouble responding quickly, and they need help from neighboring counties.
可以一下子都透过他们的指挥中心，可不可以请你们调派相关人员来做支援？所以机制都存在的。
As Taiwan opens up more trails to hikers, the country's rescue workers continue to stay alert and ready, while hoping fewer people need their services. Patrick Chen and Irene Lin for TaiwanPlus.
A radish picking event in central Taiwan has attracted more than 5,000 people. A farmers' association in Changhua County organized the event, letting people pick as many white radishes as they wanted for free. But there was barely enough to go around. Over 30,000 white radishes, around 3 tons worth, were completely gone in 7 minutes. The organizers say they'll do it again next year in a bigger field with more radishes. Hualien County in eastern Taiwan is expanding an eco-friendly farming project after seeing their early efforts bear fruit. Yujing Huang has more.
Learning to be guardians of nature. These farmers are practicing an environmentally friendly farming method to attract endangered animal species back to their original habitats. This is a part of a government project in Taiwan's eastern county of Hualien. Farmers are compensated for taking part in conservation efforts. Nearly 300 farmers have helped restore land over the past 3 years, which has led to several native species of wildlife returning.
农民他有记录到像食蛇龟、彩冠龟、环颈雉、食蟹獴等。那其实农民他不只透过这样子的营造生产农作物之外，那他也可以让这些自然生态跟野生动物共存，也创造更多的生物多样性的可能。
With the early success of this scheme, authorities are expanding the project to more farms in Hualien. Farmers who sign up have to agree to keep water in their fields year-round and not use herbicides, poison, or bird nets. If they use pesticides, those have to meet safety standards. If they can tick all these boxes, farmers will receive subsidies called an ecological salary.
水梯田的话，1年1公顷会有3万元的奖励。那如果说是水田的话，会有2万元的奖励。经过这3年的辅导，农民开始认知到一般的农业生产经济的行为以外，还可以有更多关于生态跟友善地球、友善这个土地的一些做法。
Since 2021, a total of 261 hectares of farmland have been made more welcoming for wildlife. A positive start towards a brighter future for native species. Ryan Wu and Yujing Huang for TaiwanPlus.
Some furry fugitives are finally coming out of hiding. Harrell Hughes reports on the end of Singapore's ban on cats in the city-state's government-built houses.
This little kitty is Harley. She lives here, in Singapore with her owner. But the country's law banning cats from some apartment buildings means she is living here illegally.
So we knew that rule existed, but that it wasn't actively enforced. We understood that, and we were being responsible owners in the sense that we made sure that the girls didn't go outside.
The law prohibits cats from living in government-built housing, which nearly 2/3 of Singaporeans call home. But that hasn't stopped people from keeping their furry fugitives.
Majority of of our population live in 80% of HDB flats. Okay, so what this means is that there is probably a sizable portion of our residents that also keep pet cats. Okay, but majority of these humans, or our residents, are also very considerate.
The housing authority justifies the ban, saying cats are noisy, shed fur, and urinate in public areas. But an official survey about cat ownership says Singaporeans overwhelmingly disagree, and it looks like officials are now starting to come around.
I think the overriding most important thing is that it shows the government is listening, that many and thousands have spoken up. Government has looked into this policy and is finally reviewing and making some changes. And it shows that if we all speak up, things can happen.
The new rules would allow for up to 2 cats per household. Mesh screens must be installed on windows, and cats need to be licensed and microchipped, which means cats like Harley can finally come out of hiding. Kaohsiung and Harrell Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Cosplay is popular in East Asia, but now it's spreading to a city where you'd think people would just want to dress a bit warmer. Louise Watt reports.
Not the type of padded winter clothing tourists usually wear in one of China's coldest cities. These visitors are braving sub-zero temperatures to bring cosplay to Harbin in the country's far northeast.
不冷吗？冷，冷，但是为了美，冷。
Cosplay or costume play, where fans role-play as characters from films, books and video games, is popular in China's big urban cities. But now it's spreading to this city, better known for its annual Festival of Ice Sculptures, and where temperatures can drop as low as -35 degrees Celsius. Harbin's former Russian Orthodox church is now the backdrop for photo shoots of more human angels.
有在那个各种媒体平台看到各种这种哈尔滨的宣传，还有文旅的这种相关的宣传，然后所以就是他们的宣传也有一定的作用，所以更想来看一看。
One makeup and photo shoot store estimates that hundreds of such businesses have opened in the last 3 months due to the demand.
觉得难的是，就是有的时候客人来了加不进去，拍不到。 客人这话就是一直在不断的增多。
Harbin's peak tourist season is its coldest, but after the Ice and Snow Festival packs up this year, the city may see tourists in all kinds of elaborate costumes in warmer months too. Devon Tsai and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
4 drag queens have put on an election-themed performance in Taipei. The show is designed to make light of the politicians and their campaigns, but there's a serious message underlying it all. I stopped by to watch the show. Is Taiwan ready for a drag queen president? This audience seems to think so. At an underground venue in Taipei, drag queens take to the stage as political candidates and lay out their policies. No, these queens aren't really running for office. They're parodying what they see as the farcical nature of election campaigning in Taiwan.
Election culture in Taiwan is basically a huge drag show. There's so many different aspects. First of all, there's always big trucks blasting out music, telling you that you should vote for them. Everything is so extra. So I wanted to play with it because drag queens are just absurd, and then politics are also absurd.
But behind the wigs and makeup is a serious message for voters.
It's so important, actually, not just this election, any chance you have to vote, you go out and use your vote.
Drag has long been an art form of protest and parody, and drag performers often find themselves at the forefront of rights movements. Originally from the US, Elia Heights, known out of drag as Ellery, has been living in Taiwan for over a decade. Elia has seen several elections and referendums come and go, and has seen firsthand how democratic participation from the LGBTQ+ community can have real effects on policy.
I've been in Taiwan for 11 years, so a few elections, local ones, and the presidential elections. I've been to a few rallies, been to a few protests, and seen a lot, and was here for same-sex marriage being passed, which was a really, really exciting time. A lot of people in the gay community were super involved in helping make that happen.
Voter turnout in Taiwan is usually high, with some presidential elections pulling in more than 80%. And as one of Taiwan's most divisive elections draws nearer, these drag performers want to make sure their community continues to make a difference and heads to the polls. Thanks for watching Here's What Happened. You can find more of our reports online, on social media, or on our app. Finally, we've got more shots of Harbin's winter wonderland. I'm Reece, and have yourself a wonderful Sunday.
For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, please visit us at TaiwanPlus.com.